ago, my dream was to go to Brazil. And my dream was not only to go to Brazil, but to go to Brazil and to attend the Olympic opening ceremony of Summer Olympics 2016. But back then, I was just a poor student. You know, I had no money. I didn't have friends who wanted to join me, who wanted to make some organization and preparation for this journey. And so I was all alone. But then I remember back then, I heard the phrase, it's not the resources, but your resourcefulness that ultimately define if you win or lose the game. And so I started developing my resourcefulness, right? I started researching and I got an idea. My idea was to go for Olympics as an Olympic volunteer. And so I applied and I got lucky and I got accepted. But it's not the end of the story. This is the easiest part actually, because being an Olympic volunteer doesn't give you a lot of privileges actually. They don't give you a flight ticket, they don't give you accommodation, they don't give you a ticket for the opening ceremony, right? But I wanted the opening ceremony. All I had was my uniform as a volunteer, my accreditation as a volunteer, and they would feed me, right, on the days I would work. And so my second problem was to find an accommodation, right? And again, I was developing my resourcefulness. I started researching again, and I found some other volunteers, a group of volunteers actually, Brazilians, who organized like a public sharing house in a public school. And all they needed is for me to bring my sleeping bag and to be willing to sleep on the floor. And I said, that's perfect, that's everything I was looking for. You know, it was cheap, I found new friends, Brazilian volunteers to hang out with during Olympics. And I was willing to sleep on the floor, as Steve Jobs once did when he was young and jobless and poor, right? So accommodation problem solved. Now I had my ticket problem, right? To make this long research shorter, I'm telling you that I found a ticket, I bought a ticket, but it was a ticket with 3 layovers. So it took me 2 days to actually get to Rio de Janeiro. And I and I came to Rio like at 1 a.m. in the morning, at night actually. And so I came, right? Normal people actually arrive during daytime to such a dangerous place as Rio de Janeiro. As you know, Rio de Janeiro is one of the most dangerous places in the world for the travelers, but I had to come at 1 a.m. in the morning. And so I came, I took a cab, right, and I was chatting with my taxi driver, and all I remember him was saying, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy for undertaking this journey and coming to Rio at 1 a.m. But at that time, I was probably the happiest person alive for actually doing this, right? But still not there. Not there because I didn't attend the opening ceremony, right? And so moving fast forward, it's 1 week, I'm living in Rio de Janeiro, and it's like so pretty. All the oceans and the beaches, Ipanema, Copacabana, the Statue of Christ, and I'm spending the best time of my life probably, enjoying myself, enjoying the people around me. And I'm thinking, okay, how can I do it? How can I do it? I don't have a ticket. I don't have a way to get to my goal, which is attending the opening ceremony, right? Still, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and watch the opening ceremony on the screen next to the stadium, right? To at least feel the vibe of the ceremony, to be like in this atmosphere. And so I went, right? Like 30 minutes, I'm watching the ceremony on the big screen. And without my realization, I realized that the athletes were queuing somewhere like behind the stadium in a kind of shaded area behind. They were queuing to enter the stadium and to make this circle, you know, like how they do in Olympics. And so I started like talking to them and, you know, congratulating them for coming to Rio de Janeiro, for their success, for undertaking this journey, and for doing all these, you know, great things. And I taking pictures with them and talking to them, and somehow I was in the crowd, right, with the athletes. And without me realizing, I got through like the first security check with the athletes. And then I got through second and third security check with my accreditation as a volunteer, and I got to the opening ceremony of Olympics. I did it. Thank you. And you may actually ask me, what does your story have to do with Toastmasters? Well, my answer is joining Toastmasters is like going to Brazil for me, because my dream is to become a professional speaker, and I'm really excited to be here because Toastmasters offer both resources and resourcefulness. I'm happy to join. Thank you.